人瞩目的俄乌战争，并不是从2022年才开始打起的，在很早之前，这两个国家就有着属于他们自己的问题必须解决。而让这场战争一达3年，至今都未能停火的关键，就在乌克兰很执着申请加入北约这件事情。但是乌克兰想进北约，也不是从2022年才开始的，早在2008年，乌克兰就已经申请过，当时因为受到德国跟法国的否决，才被暂时拒于门外。可乌克兰为何被拒？这点他们自己比世界上其他国家的人还要清楚。根据英国媒体 BBC 在泽伦斯基向北约递交申请书后做的一篇报道可以知道，乌克兰被拒的4大理由，当中有一项跟泽伦斯基有点关系。
Before he was president of Ukraine, he was just an ordinary guy who played the president of Ukraine. Vasily, a high school teacher unexpectedly catapulted to power, takes on oligarchs and bureaucracy. But can one honest man survive politics? Volodymyr Zelensky stars in Servant of the People.
Hello?
Good morning, Mr. Koloborochka. Can I connect you with Angela Merkel?
Yes, you can connect.
Hello. My congratulations. We decided to take your country to the European Union.
Oh, fuck! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, wow! Oh, I'm so happy. Yes. Thank you very much. All the Ukrainians and all of our country. We've been waiting for this so much time.
Ukrainians?
Yes, Ukrainians.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's a mistake. I was calling to Montenegro.
Montenegro. I see. Okay. Yeah, my congratulations. Yes, to Montenegro. Bye-bye. Fuck! You fucking Putin!
2019年的4月，当了10几年演员的泽伦斯基，在乌克兰大选中异军突起，高票碾压对手，成为了乌克兰总统。当时他最为人津津乐道的，就是在2015年曾担任制作并演出过一部电视剧《人民公仆》。他在电视剧里是演主角，这个角色很厉害。他知道乌克兰贪腐严重，他知道进不了北约跟欧盟的原因，他很努力要做一个好总统。但是在他真的成为了现实生活里的乌克兰总统之后，贪腐的问题依然没有得到改善。2022年战争还未开打前，他不听时任德国总理梅克尔的劝阻，毅然决然要走他想走的路，不管后面会发生什么事情。或是他根本不认为未来会发生现在的这些事情。他带领乌克兰无所畏惧地迎向这场他心中的圣战，只是在现实生活里的剧情，北约依然拒绝乌克兰的申请。诸多原因里，就属这个令他当选又令他难看的贪腐问题，竟然又被踢爆。在2022年的8月，在莫斯科发动战争之初，乌克兰的军方官员和商界领袖居然在军火采购案中贪污4000万美元，而原定该送往战场的10万枚迫击炮弹，从未去到他该去的地方。
Ukraine's security service said it uncovered a $40 million corruption scheme that siphoned money allocated to purchase desperately needed weapons in midst of Russia's invasion. The SBU intelligence agency said the probe had exposed former and current high-ranking officials at the Ministry of Defense and managers of an arms supplier. It said the embezzlement involved a contract for 100,000 mortar shells with weapons maker Lviv Arsenal in August 2022, just 6 months into the war.
Thank you, Camille. We are aware of the reports that were made when it comes to corruption and the delivery of certain military weapons to Ukraine. We have been in contact with the Ukrainian authorities. We know that they are carrying out an investigation. We'll certainly keep a very close eye on what happens here. We have no doubt that a proper investigation will be carried out.
如果用戏如人生来形容泽伦斯基，他一定没有想过，明明当初剧情写的是 因为发表反贪腐言论一炮而红。意外当选乌克兰总统的历史老师，怎么会把荣耀乌克兰的剧本演成了血染基辅的战争片？但是更让世人意外的是，谁给泽伦斯基改剧本的？怎么一场跟川普总统的国际媒体记者会，让他演成了团结欧洲一起抗俄的漫威电影
？On the minerals deal, Mr. President, some of those minerals are in the east of Ukraine, not far from the front lines and in areas that Russia has occupied. Will you direct President Putin to withdraw his forces from those areas if there's U.S. interest?
Well, we'll take a look at the time. We have a lot of area. It's a very big area we're talking about, so we'll take a look. I'll study that and I'll see.
And who would protect those minerals if they are U.S. interests? Would that be Ukrainian forces?
They'll be protected. The agreement will protect them.
U.S.
The agreement, yeah, we're signing an agreement.
Right, but what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in those spots?
I just told you I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. Let's go. Please, go.
I already mentioned Poland. Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I want to respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden, of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact
2015.
2014.
2014 to 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy JD you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine? Did you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You
God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
I'm not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
a
entire
lot of
meeting?
times.
No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
Today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I answer?
Wait a minute. No, you've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet.
You haven't been alone.
In this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion. We gave you military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Except that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
I understand, sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards. You're buried there. Your people are dying. You're running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I want this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you'd take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me. That wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is, Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
在这场长达50分钟的记者会上，有记者向泽伦斯基提问： 为什么出席这么重要的场合却没有穿着正装？这在正式外交场合上的确略显不妥。相信乌克兰的外交官员应该也有提醒，毕竟在这场公开记者会后，要进行的是更重要的矿产协议签订。就算川普总统不介意，以国际礼仪来说，泽伦斯基的行为都是极为失礼的。即使这并不是记者会冲突的引爆点，而泽伦斯基更具戏剧性的演出，则是在整场记者会的尾声。就在美国副总统万斯认为他们完成一项重要的国际外交时，泽伦斯基马上接着提问万斯，更没有信用的俄罗斯台协议，这样算什么样的外交？瞬间才让记者会失焦。对泽伦斯基来说，这次让美国跟川普总统难堪的结果，应该会让他更深切地体认到，真实世界的运作方式跟戏剧世界是不一样的。
Donald Trump returned to Washington last night after a weekend of frantic transatlantic diplomacy, during which he had kept uncharacteristically quiet, saying nothing about Ukraine since he'd thrown President Zelensky out of the White House. Today he looked far more relaxed, announcing a large investment in semiconductor manufacturing, but couldn't avoid questions about Ukraine. Like, what does he need to see from Mr. Zelensky to restart talks?
Well, I just think he should be more appreciative because this country has stuck with them through thick and thin. I want to see it end fast. I don't want to see this go on for years and years. Now, President Zelensky supposedly made a statement today in AP. I'm not a big fan of AP, so maybe it was an incorrect statement, but he said he thinks the war's going to go on for a long time. And he better not be right about that. That's all I'm saying.
The visit to Sandringham went better than Washington. Last night, Volodymyr Zelensky visited King Charles at the end of a bruising week. Before returning to Kyiv, he sat down with journalists.
I traveled in the train for 12 hours, then for 11 hours I flew because the President of the United States invited me.
But how can he restore relations with the White House?
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III.
This weekend, he avoided apologising or explaining exactly what happened after that Oval Office encounter.
I think we'll leave this for history.
President Zelensky said it was too early to talk concessions. He implied Ukraine could survive without US support.
The Trump administration has decided to pause all military aid and weapons shipments to Ukraine following the disastrous Oval Office conflict between Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, and Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine. Now, Fox News is reporting that the Trump administration is pausing all aid to Ukraine, including weapons in transit or in Poland. And the pause comes days after that contentious meeting with Zelensky in the Oval Office. Now, this decision was made after a meeting that took place between, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and others within the Pentagon. And so this is now, I mean, honestly, it's not surprising given everything that transpired in the Oval Office. And since then, today, the AP had a headline titled, Ukraine Zelensky says end of war with Russia is very, very far away. And that led to Trump absolutely losing it. We'll get to Trump's statement in just a minute, but I want to give you the full quote from Zelensky. Here's what he said. We are talking about the first steps today, and therefore, until they are on paper, I would not like to talk about them in great detail. He's talking about a possible peace agreement. He also says an agreement to end the war is still very, very far away, and no one has started all these steps yet. The peace that we foresee in the future must be just, honest, and most importantly, sustainable. Trump didn't like that statement.
打了3年的仗，牺牲的不只有乌俄两国人民的生命，连欧洲的经济、欧盟人民非常仰赖的廉价天然气也跟着3年赔进去。更遑论这几年因为战火所带来的运输、粮食种种不便，深深影响国计民生，进而推升全球通膨居高不下。所有民生的恶性循环都围绕在这场战争里。看着受苦的人民残破的家园，泽伦斯基应该比任何人都希望早日进入谈判，以终结这场战争。
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in the US to finalize a rare earth minerals deal, one he says is crucial to securing American support. Speaking ahead of his White House visit, Zelensky said that the success of the deal depends on their conversation with President Trump. Meanwhile, President Trump, in a cabinet meeting, called it a very big agreement, saying it includes rare earth minerals and more. According to sources, the deal is central to Ukraine's efforts to maintain US backing, especially as Trump pushes for a swift resolution to the war with Russia.
President Donald Trump wants something in return for helping Ukraine defend itself against Russia. He says his administration wants access to Ukraine's critical mineral resources like uranium, lithium, and graphite, which could be worth trillions of dollars. President Zelensky offered Western allies access to these resources as part of his victory plan last year.
Telling Ukraine they have very valuable rare earth. We want what we put up to go in terms of a guarantee. So we're looking to do a deal with Ukraine where they're going to secure what we're giving them with their rare earth and other things.
Ну, ціни цьому реально немає. Ну, тобто це великі гроші, дуже великі. І тому це треба захищати. І тому, якщо ми говоримо про діл, те, що хочуть американці, так давайте діл. Ми тільки за. Давайте діл.
When the United States of America sells weapons to Israel, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, do they earn 100%? It's okay. I just want a dialogue with President Trump. I think I'm being fair in saying that I want a dialogue. I am not signing something that will be paid to Ukraine for 10 generations.
Я не підписую те, що будуть виплачувати 10 поколінь українців. І я не збираюсь визнавати 500. І друга ситуація, якщо чесно, навіть 100 мільярдів я не готовий фіксувати. Поясню чому. Поясню чому. Тому що ми не маємо визнавати гранти як борги. Подобається це чи не подобається? Я домовлявся з Байденом і домовлявся з Конгресом Сполучених Штатів Америки. Я вдячний Конгресу. Це була присутність двох партій і підтримка грантів. Грант – то не є борг.
I will be meeting with President Zelensky. In fact, he may come in this week or next week to sign the agreement, and which would be nice. I'd love to meet him. Would meet at the Oval Office. So the agreement's being worked on now. They're very close to a final deal. It'll be a deal with rare earths and various other things, and he would like to come, as I understand it, here to sign it, and that would be great with me.
这到底是郎有情妹无意，还是彻头彻尾的会错意？居中斡旋的外交人员心底最清楚。但不论如何，在这场灾难性的记者会后，泽伦斯基的确是赢得了乌克兰人民跟欧洲领袖短暂热情的支持。但他最终应该解决的问题并没有得到解决。有专家分析，这场破局的记者会最大受益者会是中国，毕竟一开始能够坐上谈判桌的，从来都没有听过欧洲哪个国家的名字被点到。但是相较欧洲领袖的见猎欣喜，中国的低调反倒让有些国家感到担忧。然而此刻最该担忧的绝对还是泽伦斯基。当初打着战争期间不宜举行总统大选，一路掌权至今的他，是否还够资格替乌克兰人发言？恐怕台面下各方属意的人选已磨刀霍霍，在争夺这个位置了。